It was the jewel, now rotting in just a year. Imploded by design. Austerity is coming here. They are flicking the switches in the control room. Image that. Martial law was in place and ready to come out of mothballs. Now they're flicking the switches, turning it on, powering it up. And you know when they're getting ready to move with new wars, new false flag stage terror attacks, media censorship, false flags on the internet. You know when they're getting ready to move, when they start preconditioning the public for it. And they're doing it on all fronts right now, moving quickly. I don't want to look back later and wish that we would have done more now. Now, you in your gut, as a bureaucrat, as an enforcer of this system, whether in the military, a police officer, or a bureaucrat that commands them, or any of these systems, I know you've been given a false template of compartmentalization of why you do what you do, filled with kernels of truth. But if you look at general history, common sense, what our forebears warned us about, the track record we have with this government, and I say that loosely, you know we're in bad shape. I don't really know anybody that denies that anymore. But people say, well, what are you going to do about it? Just keep your head down. No. At times like this in history, keeping your head down is not the right move. If you're being chased by 10 wolves through the forest, you don't get your head down and get in a fetal position and cry for mommy. You get into a small cave and block the entrance, you climb a tree, or you get up on a high ground with some boulders and you stand and fight. You do not get in a fetal position and kiss your behind goodbye. I hope everybody understands that. Now, the PSYOP works like this. It's been done incrementally. If you look at the definitions of martial law that we have linked in this big article by Paul Joseph Watson that's red linked on Infowars.com, it's also mirrored at prisonplanet.com, Obama executive order paves the way for nationalization of entire economy. Government greases the skids for America's Greece-style meltdown. And that's always been the public plan. Now, the National Defense Resources Preparedness takes Cold War 1950 emergency legislation that is put into place to be activated if Congress gets destroyed by a Soviet nuke strike. So Congress got tricked into letting this be on the books for a nuke strike, basically. Continuity of government. Obama changes it to say any emergency, including economic, which Bush did in his presidential decision directive and executive order in 2008 that we made a big deal out of. People are like, okay, well, Bush did it too. Now Obama's doing it. The point is that everything in those old orders is being updated and is now being implemented. That's why this is so important. It's one thing to have a plan on the shelf that's dangerous enough. It's another thing to begin to activate it. What do you think it is when the TSA is not just in airports but on highways, pulling people over without warrants, commanding local police, no jurisdiction, no, they're not even federally or state sworn, not bonded. It's totally illegal. But they say it's legal under the emergency. That's why they declare a new emergency every year in Congress. They've always got a new reason, but it's under that emergency declaration since the 1933 War Powers, the 1947 National Security Act, the 1950 National Defense Resources Preparedness, and all of these are just tweakings of systems of martial law and reauthorizations and then rearranging who's in command. John Warner Defense Authorization Act, 2007, says prepare for insurrection, not just by citizens, but by the states. Prepare a governor's council to operate and speak for all 50, appointed by the president. The public will still see 10 governors. That's in the definitions. Black's Law has about 10 pages. I was reading it last night and this morning on martial law and its different permutations. But it's governors. with military power. Have you watched during a flood how it's military generals at FEMA now under Big Sis? Have you watched how during tornadoes it's generals under Homeland Security? Have you watched how the whole power structure is going to military people under NORTHCOM? It fits all the definitions. Checkpoints, curfews, suspension of the Fourth Amendment, open warrantless spying. Head of the CIA last week in a speech saying, we spy on all of you without warrants. There are piggyback systems in all new electronics, from your clock radio to your washer and dryer. Go read the quotes. I read them Friday. You guys put the Wired magazine back up? Thank you. For people that are watching on prisonplanet.tv. Why are they now admitting all this? Why are they saying, yeah, we'll secretly arrest you for any reason and disappear you? Because they've got to get the military and the contractors, a lot of them foreign government contractors, are here. That's in FEMA document, NLE 09 and others. In the John Warren Defense Authorization Act, it treasonously, traitorously, in the most brazen, chutzpah-fueled bravado I've ever seen, says the Pentagon will move into the states and governors and legislatures. They're saying if the legislature doesn't do what they're told, the feds will move armor in and take the capitals. That's in the John Warren Defense Authorization Act. What did they say last year when they unanimously passed in the House to ban the TSA from touching people's genitals? I mean, they don't even do that in communist China or North Korea. What did they say? They said, we'll run an air blockade. We'll run an air blockade with F-16s of Texas and shoot down any aircraft that enter. That's John Warren Defense Authorization Act. We are in deep trouble. Now, why is the system doing this? That's the $64 million question. When we come back from break, I'm going to address that, and then we'll give the number out and talk to police and military ahead of our next guest joining us. But I'm begging you to go just type in law dictionary. Do you want the long form? Long definition martial law or definition martial law, and go read it. And read what the Supreme Court has said. Go read what Black's law says. Go read and then look around you and see what's being rolled in. See, people think of martial law as Waco burning. That's 100 on the scale. You know, everybody being drug out of their homes, concentration camps. No. This martial law is just going to be property taxes, carbon taxes, taking your land, harassing farmers, taking your guns, running checkpoints. But they're phasing it in right now. We're under martial law. I had tried everything. I'd cut back the amount of food I was eating. I was lifting weights and jogging, but nothing was working. My body was literally starving for minerals and trace elements as well as key vitamins. And as soon as I had that, I immediately could eat half of what I was eating previously and be satisfied. Now, there are hundreds of great products at InfoWarsTeam.com, but I want to point out the 3 that have helped me lose 37 pounds in just 2 months. Products like Beyond Tangy Tangerine, Pollen Burst, and Rebound. When I started taking the Tangy Tangerine and other products every day, I lost more than 37 pounds in just 2 months. Now that's results. I want to challenge my listeners to go to InfoWarsTeam.com and to order just 3 of their products, and you will see the changes in the way you look, feel, and in your appetite almost immediately. Start your journey to health and wellness today. InfoWarsTeam.com.
Do you know which 37 crucial food items are going to fly off the shelves when the next disaster hits? If you don't, you and your family may be without food and waiting in long food lines after a big disaster strikes. You would be surprised how many people don't have these food items right now. 123survivalplan.com has set up a For Patriots Only video with inside information on the 37 food items that will sell out first when the next disaster strikes. The video on 123survivalplan.com has crucial information you and your family need to prepare for any disaster, natural or man-made. And you won't have to be afraid of going hungry or being sent to a FEMA refugee camp. See the video that over 1 million other smart patriots have already seen in the last 4 months. Prepared now. Go to 123survivalplan.com and learn which 37 food items you should hoard. Easy to remember, 123survivalplan.com. Again, that's 123survivalplan.com.
Healthy soils grow healthy plants. So before you plant your survival garden this year, is your soil healthy? Maximize your crisis garden soil with EM1 from Terraganics. EM1 Organic Soil Conditioner, Fertilizer Amendment, and Compost Accelerant provides healthier gardens and faster, efficient garden composting. EM1 from Terraganics.com quickly improves soil structure by increasing nutrient availability and converting organic matter into soil humus. This improves seed germination and root growth, improves plant quality, size, color, flavor, nutrient value of fruits and vegetables, and improves shelf life. And when rain is not in the forecast, no worries. EM1 improves moisture retention in soils, helping reduce drought stress. Just like you prepare all else, prepare your crisis garden for maximum yields with EM1 from Terraganics.com. Order now at TERAGANIX.com or call toll-free 866-369-3678. That's 866-369-3678. Terraganics. Life's getting better.
Would it save you time to get the best quality water filters and the best quality storable foods from one company? You bet it would, and now you can at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. Big Berkey water filter products and great tasting, long-lasting, storable Wise foods are both now available on one website, BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. Wise foods, ready-to-eat meals are packed in airtight nitrogen pouches and come with a 25-year shelf life. Big Berkey water filters are powerful enough to purify treated, untreated, or even stagnant pond water. Combine Berkey water filters with Wise foods for an unbeatable preparedness combination. Get free shipping on every order over $50, and GCN listeners receive 5% off all ceramic filter systems. Visit BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com or call 877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY, or go to BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com.
Very simple, and I want to be clear about this. The United States has been criminally conquered. The Washington Post, Time Magazine, Financial Times of London, they all brag every time I pick one up about, yeah, big mega banks run things now. Yeah, we don't even need local governments anymore. The experts are running things. You won't be voting anymore in your town or city. This is happening all over the U.S. No, a corporation's going to run your town now. In some cases, big cities. And guess what? We're tripling your power and water prices. Oh, it's so we make bigger profits. Don't like it, move somewhere else, but we're taking over there too. And this is so you can't get due process. This is so they can exempt themselves from lawsuits. This is so the criminals that have hijacked our nation can have their way with us. And who's at the top of the pyramid? Goldman Sachs. One of their top executives went public last week saying, we're there to cheat our customers, and we call them scum and muppets and idiots. And I can't do it anymore. That's the attitude. Let's rip people off. They're just total criminals, again, who ship guns into Mexico to blame the Second Amendment. And remember what the Attorney General just got caught saying from a tape back in '95. Let's brainwash the public to be anti-gun. And when you see a gun, call the police. And that's why when the telephone guy's in your house, he calls the cops on you, even though the gun's legal. This is what they've turned us into, a nation of snitches reporting to a bunch of criminals. They want the martial law in because the normal law and the system of due process and the Constitution is like holy water to a vampire. It's what will send them to prison. So they want to get rid of it so they can steal at an even greater level, arrest their political opposition, and can't get